Okay, so in this example, we're looking at the path of a bird, right? We're given this equation. What does the equation tell you? So let me write the equation here. Y equals 0.5 x squared minus 3x. What is my a value of this equation? Which number is a? 0.5. Is that a positive value or a negative value? Is 0.5 positive or negative? So this graph will open up or down? It's going to open up. Okay, I want you to think about this for a second. Okay, we know that because a is positive, it's going to open up. Is there a c value? Is there plus or minus something? 0 then, right? Which means that the y-intercept is what? Remember, c, this is in standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. C tells us what part of the graph? Okay, c is the y-intercept, so you already know that the graph is going to intercept the y-axis at 0. And think about this question. It's representing the path of a bird underwater. So if this is my x and my y-axis, well, we know the graph opens up. What do you think the x-axis represents in this question? If the bird's going underwater, what do you think the x-axis represents? The water, right? I can draw water here. The bird is going underneath the water. So we're going to look at a path, okay? It might look something like this, right? We don't know. We're going to graph it. So using the equation, we're going to fill out this table. Well, we already know that if x is 0, y is 0. We already know that point on the graph. Fill in the rest of it. So once we fill in the table, we can plot these points. 1 and negative 2.5, 2 and negative 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the path of the bird, it starts here and it goes underneath the water and it comes back up. That was a horrible curve. Axis of symmetry runs directly in the middle of the parabola, right? So it's the midpoint of any two coordinates that have the same y value. So let's do this one. This and this have the same y value, right? So I'm choosing this point and this point. I want to know what's halfway between those 2 points. So I'm going to add 1 plus 5, right? I'm adding my x values together to find out halfway, because your axis of symmetry is your x value. How do you find midpoint? And then divide by 2. Good. 1 plus 5 divided by 2. So the axis of symmetry is x equals 3. This is your axis of symmetry. What does that mean? Here's 3. 1, 2, 3. The axis of symmetry is at 3. What other value does that tell us about this graph? Where does the axis of symmetry run through? What does it hit? It passes through the vertex. So we know that the vertex is going to be located at 3 and something, right? We have to figure out what the y value is of the vertex. Okay, so we're going to use the equation to find the y value of the vertex. What was the equation of the parabola? Yep, y equals 0.5 x squared. Well, we want to know the point where the parabola changes direction, so the vertex. If x is 3, find the y value. A vertex is also a point on the parabola. Follow BUDMAS, 0.5. We want to do 3 squared first. 3 times 3 is 9. And where is the vertex? The y value of the vertex? Negative 4.5. Good. So the vertex is located at 3 and negative 4.5. Again, the vertex tells us the axis of symmetry. What does the y value of the vertex tell you? Here's the vertex right here. Here's our parabola. Let me just connect the points. Okay. Where is this Where's the vertex located? This is the lowest point, the minimum, the lowest point that the parabola can go. So the minimum y value of this parabola is what? What's the lowest value? The lowest point this parabola can go is negative 4.5 because the vertex tells us the highest or the lowest point, the minimum or the maximum value. Okay, where does this parabola hit the x-axis? What are the two coordinates of the x-intercepts? Where does it hit the x-axis? Yep, over there. Good. 0, 0, and here, 6, 0. Those are the two x-intercepts.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.